Yeah.
All right. Look, 2-0 up and 3-2 up. How frustrated are you by the fact you've not won that match?
Yeah, frustrated. And the players are, and they would be, because the first half was as good as we played this season, very much so. We played some great football. Get out 2 goals, could have more. When you can see before half time, you know that changes the tone of the game a lot. And then, as you say, we go 3-2 up again, and we can see the late goal from a free kick. So it's disappointing. You want to pick up points at home against teams like Southampton, but you have to respect that they're a very good team and can make it very difficult for you. And when they made it difficult in the second half, we could have certainly dealt with it better.
Look, let's deal with the positives. 2 goals for Timo Werner, his first in the Premier League. Were they both something to admire?
Yeah, really good individual goals in terms of how he made them for himself. Looked sharp. Our combination play in the first half was really sharp. For Timo to get those goals would be great for him in terms of getting his confidence in terms of the first Premier League goal. So really pleased we'll see a lot more of that from him.
Unmute yourself, Ian. You're still on mute.
Sorry.
Last one, please.
How concerned are you, though, particularly about the manner in which you conceded the second goal?
Yeah, I mean, mistakes will always concern you. It was a situation we should have clearly dealt with in much more simpler terms. And then you give them a goal and you make it 2-2. So, yeah, if you're going to concede those kind of goals, doesn't matter how well you want to play in periods of games, it's something that we can't have in our game.
Liam Twomey.
Hi, Frank. We've seen a few kind of late equalisers at Stamford Bridge over the last sort of year and a bit. When you're trying to see out a game as a team when you're with a narrow lead, is that something you can specifically prepare for in training? Are there things you can do, or is it just about dealing with it in the moment?
Yeah, there's certainly a game management element of it in the game, where you want to be able to see out a game and kill it off. I think we turned the ball over that led to a free kick, and then it's the second ball. So there are a lot of elements to it. You can recreate that in training. You can talk about it a lot, but it's disappointing, obviously, when it happens.
Nick Pewell.
Hi, Frank. I know, obviously, it was a chance for Kepa to get back in and show what he could do. He obviously made some good saves there. I think clearly, whenever a keeper makes, whenever there's a goal that there's mistakes, the keeper is going to get a bit flack. Do you think he's mentally strong enough to just cope with all of that? Because, obviously, it's anyone who has a difficult time in form, it's obviously tricky for them, isn't it? But is he strong enough just to kind of forget all of it and just keep on keeping on?
Well, yeah, he has to be strong enough. That's part of the job that we're in when you're playing top level elite sport and all eyes are on, and how competitive it is. We know that, and the goalkeeper, their role means that they have to really deal with that in these sort of moments, and that continues with Kepa. He has to deal with that. He'll feel the support of myself and feel the support of his teammates, and it's unfortunate because he did make a couple of good saves today. Of course, when you're a goalkeeper, typically people will judge you on other moments sometimes as well, but he has to keep working. There's only one way through those kind of periods, and that's work and to feel the support around him.
It's Arkansas.
Hi, Frank. From the outside, it kind of seems like this 4-2-3-1 is the sort of plan A for you these days. I just wanted to talk about that. And is it sort of something you continue with and get better at doing, or is it a case of, if you do concede too much goals, you have to go back to the drawing board a little bit?
I don't think it's the conceding goals in relation to the shape of the team. Of course, we've changed the shape of the team, and I have to make those decisions on personnel that we have around and trying to get the best out of the personnel in the team. So that's something for me to think about all the time. It doesn't mean that we're dead set on playing in that formation, and there can be changes and tweaks to it as we go along. But yeah, it's something that we need to continue working on. It is a change. Change needs work on the training ground. We haven't had that much time on that. So sometimes the working process is in games. And today there were loads of great things from the 4-2-3-1, particularly in the first half. And then in the second half, I wouldn't blame the shape of the team. It was more that we didn't deal with the fact that Southampton were really keen to put us under pressure our own half. We had to miss out their press. We didn't miss it out enough. And that meant that we could turn the ball over our own half, which is, irrespective of shape, is always going to be a problem.
Sandro Sapanza.
Hello, Frank. I want to ask you about goalkeeper situation. You spent about 215 million euros during this summer transfer window, but goalkeeper link still remains as the weakest link. So how are you going to rate Kepa's performance today? Do you think he's guilty in this case? And what's going to happen when Mendy returns?
Well, I was just talking about Kepa there. He makes 2 really good saves in the match today, but of course, people's eyes will be drawn to the second goal, and I understand that. And it certainly wasn't just Kepa that was involved in that goal. So that's the unfortunate world of being a goalkeeper. And it's clear Mendy is at the moment injured and will be probably fit in the next week or 2 weeks, and then that'll be the decision for me to make about who plays.
Okay, last question in this one, David.
Frank, it was a kind of a surprise the way Southampton bossed the second half, and you've described it in technical terms. But is there a more kind of overall reason that your team got kind of bossed and dominated for much of the second half? Is it the difficulty of trying to blend in new players? Is it I don't know. I mean, it just was a surprise that they were clearly the better side throughout the second half.
Yeah, no, I agree that they were the better side, and on the flip side of that, we were much the better side in the first half, where I think we pretty could have put the game beyond Southampton with more goals, and of course we concede late on, which can happen. But yeah, I think I just explain it before. I'm not talking about personnel. I don't want to get on the one about personnel, because the second half was pretty clear cut for me. They wanted to put us under pressure on half. I felt that we tried to make too many short passes in our own half, which gave them the possibility to try and win it back there. And the message was for the players to miss that out. I don't think we missed out their press enough. And that made it much more difficult for us to have the control we had in the first half. So games like that can swing, and when they do swing against a team with the qualities of Southampton, what you want then is to, when you get 3-2 ahead, to make sure you see out the game. So that's obviously the disappointing factor from our point of view.
Okay, that's the review of today. This is now Monday. It's got an embargo of Sunday night.